Step into the light and perish!
So, hello everyone, welcome to another gameplay commentary. This time I'm going to be playing Jenos, so it's going to be a support gameplay commentary this time. Support is my least played class, but I still really enjoy playing the class, and I feel for the most part I can do a pretty good job as a support. But I probably make a lot more mistakes as support compared to the other roles. So let's go over this gameplay and see the kinds of mistakes I'm making and make sure I don't make them the next time I play support. So looking at the other team, they have a Maldamba, Ash, Nando, Lex, and Shaolin. Pretty standard team. The Lex pickup is a bit questionable. I don't remember right now whether the Lex was picked up after or before I picked up the Jenos, but the point still stands that Jenos is a pretty good counter to Lex. It's pretty difficult to flank a Jenos as a Lex, considering once you void grip the Lex, it's going to be difficult for the Lex to get away because Lex can't use his combat slide while he's lifted up into the air. So for legendary cards, both Luminary and Celestial, in my opinion, are viable cards for Jenos. This time I decided to go Celestial to get a little bit of that extra heal. I felt that Bomb King and Talus could do good enough on their own in terms of damage output. And I felt like Inara and Torvald wouldn't really be able to make use of the Luminary as much, which is why I decided to go Celestial. Now jumping into the game, I'm peeking up on this right side, and it's good to start off peeking up from this right side to make sure you're not going to get flanked through the stairs. Unfortunately, as I leave the right side, Lex comes in and tries to get a flank on me. I was saved by the Torvald shield though, and Lex disengaged and went on a different target. Now here, a mistake I'm making is not being more aware of where my teammates are. I got lucky that Torvald came in at just the right time and shielded me, but I really should have been more aware of my teammates' positions. Sometimes it's easy to forget about your team when you stand solo on the point, but it's an important point to consider. So we managed to get the first point there. I wasn't really sure what I did in particular that managed to get the point, but I guess my heals were keeping the team alive long enough to secure the point. I see Ash here low, easy pick up of Ash. And something that I was not very happy with about this game was that throughout the entire game I felt like my entire team was scattered all over the place. And as a Jenos it's fine because I'm able to heal them no matter where they are, especially on a small map like this. But despite being able to heal them, just having your teammates spread out across is generally a bad idea because you won't be able to focus anyone on the enemy team down. So far it's working out fine though. We're able to push them, get picks off, and then one by one. So unfortunately no one was able to capitalize on Shaolin there, but that was more my mistake than anything else because I didn't realize as I was gripping Shaolin that the rest of my team was dying behind me. My heal was on cooldown for the most part, but they just got caught out of position and ended up dying.
seconds remaining.
At this point, with 30 seconds remaining, it seems pretty grim for us. I'm not really sure if we can take the point from here. Again, my tanks are on the extreme left side of the map, and my DPS is on the extreme right side of the map. And I'm in the middle. And because we were spread out like that, I feel like we weren't able to get any valuable picks off. Especially when you're the team that's pushing, it's better to focus fire down one target and have the advantage of numbers rather than trying to split off. But so far, not too bad.
Capture point spawning in
No
15 seconds.
obvious mistakes that I see right away. My heal output could be better.
5, 4,
There are moments where
3,
my heal is
2,
off
1.
cooldown and I'm not using it effectively. So I remember that this was the point of the game where I decided to try and focus a bit more on healing, make sure I'm really aware of that cooldown, and really make sure that it's never ever off cooldown. So here I made a mistake where I used Void Grip before using my heal. The best thing to do would have been to use my heal first and then follow it up with the Void Grip. In fact, at that position, it may have even been better to avoid the Void Grip completely.
Enemy is unstoppable.
So here again, I feel like at that point it would have, when I had the three of them in a line on point, it would have been a good idea to ulti over there. But I didn't make use of that opportunity. And once again, like, if you're looking at my team, myself included, we're just too spread out and we're not able to apply any pressure. Usually I play Jenos like this, where I stay behind walls and maintain a little bit of a distance between myself and the tanks. However, in this game, I feel like that may have not been a wise strategy, because I was so spread out and because I was so far away from my tanks, I ended up getting caught off shelling quite often. Here I made a mistake of trying to solo the Shaolin, which was dumb. I ended up taking a lot of damage, and then I peeked that unnecessarily and took a stupid death. So remember, never peek a Shaolin when you're within one shot range. It's always a bad idea. So now that I have high ground, I gave it up, and looking at this now, this was such a dumb mistake, because they're pushed up pretty far up, and it doesn't benefit my team at all, me giving up the high ground, because I can heal them just as fine being on high ground than I can being down there, and I'll be out of the range of enemy fire. On top of that, I have a better angle to ulti down on top of that. So giving up that high ground, while it may not have made a difference whether we managed to defend that or not, but was definitely a bad idea and it was a mistake. So what's my strategy here now? Things are clearly not going our way. We're down by 2 points, and if we give up this point, we lose the game. We do have the capture point advantage, the catch-up advantage, so we should be able to capture faster, and maybe that little advantage will be enough to get us through. I'm going to be looking to play a little bit more defensive, try and not die, and try and get more heals off. Or that was my plan anyways. So I'm making sure I'm behind the corner here so that Shalin can't get me while he's ulting. I tried to get an ulti off on Shalin there, and I think I may have just barely missed him, unfortunately. So here, the start of this I handled poorly, but as the encounter between Lex went on, I started to play it a little bit better. Instead of directly engaging him, I would void grip and kite around him with my movement, while at the same time keeping the heals up on my allies while keeping the heals up on me as well, because I have a card that heals me while I heal allies. So I managed to stay alive with some movement and some heals, and the constant heals allowed Inara to maintain the pressure on the point, and because of that we managed to get the point. So it's looking slightly better for us. I'm making sure to keep my eyes open on all my allies at once, ready to pop a heal at the moment's notice. So as this went on, I noticed that I became much better at managing the cooldown on my heal. So now you can see that I'm much better about managing the cooldowns on this. I think that's something I definitely need to work on. Maintain the cooldowns properly. Another thing I felt I wasn't doing enough was capitalizing on Shalin's planted, because once Shalin is in that planted, he's a much easier target for you to ulti with Jenos, and you often can hit him if you time it right, especially since Shalin gives such a loud sound cue when he goes into his planted. So here, when I picked up Shalin there, I had picked him up while he was still in his stealth, and instead of going close to him, underneath him, I would have been better off going around the corner instead of taking additional damage from Shalin. Fortunately, that led to my death, and it may spell disaster for us. I get up and maximize my Haven because I'm being damaged by Lex and Shalin mostly. I seen the engagement starting over there on the left side. So what I did there was I popped a heal on Torvald, and as Lex was chasing him, I went up in between Lex and Torvald so that I would body block Torvald, making sure that Torvald was safe. Lex wouldn't be able to get to him, and allowing Torvald to heal up.
15 seconds remaining.
Now we have a good position here. We are grouped up sufficiently that we can focus down one target, or we can focus down target one by one.
2, 1.
Unfortunately, Talus fell over there, and Bomb King ended up using an ulti in response to Ash's ulti. I don't agree with Bomb King using his ultimate over there. It probably would have been better to save it. And with too much pressure from the enemy team, we are gonna end up losing this point right about now. Or not? No, there it is. So we lose the point. It's okay. We still have a chance to get this, and we're gonna try our best.
Capture point spawning in 15 seconds.
So looking at the items that they've picked up, we see that they've mostly gone for resilience, and it's going to be important to keep that in mind because it's going to really reduce the time of the void grip. And that doesn't mean that void grip has become useless. It may still be worth using it because it can still disrupt people when they're trying to move. For instance, disrupting a Lex mid-dash can be quite powerful. So I hear the Shalin ulti pop off, so I try to jump around and try to get into a position where I'm not surrounded by enemies. Fortunately, once Torvald dies, I'm pretty much left all alone to fend for myself, and Lex managed to get in there and kill me, despite Lex missing like half his shots. So with the capture progress at 70%, I try and rush back to the point as soon as possible, get my heals down, make sure my team stays alive in order to contest the point. Fortunately, I just wasn't able to heal through the DPS from Shaolin, and Torvald ends up falling. However, I did end up getting a crucial ulti off on Shaolin, and that may have been enough to help us secure the point. We have control of the point now, and if we can get some good zoning on, then we should be able to secure this point as well. It's at points like this where Void Grip can really come in handy, because it'll be enough to just disrupt them, just enough to prevent them from reaching the point. Fortunately, two of them charged the point at once, and I was able to disrupt only one of them.
Push the payload.
The push from Torvald's ulti was just about enough to help us secure the point over there, despite the heavy resilience on the other team. Being bruised by Ash and Lex over there, and they managed to get a chunk of my health out. I managed to get into cover there and Void Grip the Lex just in time. See the Inara charging in for the point, so I just give her a little heal so that she can hold her own while I focus on popping another heal off on her teammates. So see, that was an example of where if you time your ulti right, you can get Shaolin during planted. If I had capitalized more on such instances, the battle would have definitely gone more towards my team's favor. So that's definitely something I need to work on, timing those Jenos ults properly. And it's important to realize that if you can secure one crucial kill with your ulti, then it's worth going for it. A common trap that newer players tend to make is to always hold on to their ultimates until that crucial moment, until that critical moment. Unfortunately, in game, you often never come across that critical moment. So if you can find an opportunity to use your ultimate to get even one kill, that's usually worth it, because then it puts the advantage in your favor, because the battle then becomes a 5 versus 4.
30 seconds remaining.
With 30 seconds remaining, I'm not really too optimistic about capturing this point. I'm pretty much hoping to charge up ultis at this point, and maybe have enough ultis to secure the point again one last time for the next round.
9, 8.
They bring the Lex ulti and manage to hit no one, which works out in our favor, but Shaolin quickly drops Bomb King. Once Bomb King and Talus are down, there's very little hope for us. It's 3 against 5 and we just get melted one by one. Managed to kite around the pillar a little bit, wait for Talus to come on, but in the end it proves futile because we end up losing the point. Well, not futile. Like I said earlier, my goal that last 30 seconds was to just charge up ultimates to the point where we have the ultimate advantage over them, so that we can take the next point. And in that way we sort of succeeded, because now we have 4 ultis and they are down 2 ultis, I believe.
5, 4, 3, 2, One.
So heading into this last fight, I'm really just hoping to keep my team alive as much as possible, maybe get a crucial ulti off, and see what we can do. So there's Bonk King hoping for a crucial ulti over there. We managed to get a pick off on Shaolin right there in the beginning. And Lex with a pretty cool ulti from Talus there. I mess up my ulti unfortunately, which shouldn't be too bad because we should have got the advantage once Shaolin and Lex fell. And we did. We managed to get the advantage, we managed to secure the point, and we started to zone. If we play this part correctly, then we should be able to secure this game and call this a victory. Now, my team was really spread out. There was Talus fighting alone on the right side. I hear Shaolin behind me. I'm not sure who he's attacking. And then I get picked off by Shaolin. That Shaolin ulti looks like it took out 3 of our team. And that may just be enough. They even managed to sufficiently stagger us, so Hinar just died. See Bomb King trying to go in from the right side to maybe get something sneaky, but he gets seen and caught. He's probably gonna die. They're zoning us pretty well. There's not much of an opening. Talus goes in from this side, but he's not able to capitalize on anything. I end up dying here. No, I don't. So this is looking optimistic for us. But Ash gets a big knockback on Nara there. I rush onto the point to try and salvage whatever we have, but I end up falling. And this is probably game for us right there. Nando pulls out the ulti, securing the kill on Talus and leading to a defeat. Unfortunate. Now, what could we have done differently there? In the last encounter, my ulti missed everyone. If I had got a crucial kill, maybe on Damba, we would have been able to pull something off, maybe. I definitely made a mistake on that part. Also, towards the end, I ended up just sort of panicking and just running around all over the place, not focusing my damage and my heals. And it seemed like the rest of my team was just as guilty of panicking and running around. That is probably what led to our loss. It was our game to lose and we ended up losing it. We had the point secured at the end over there, but we couldn't capitalize on it. We couldn't zone them out properly and we ended up losing because of it. Unfortunate, but it happens, and that's pretty much the whole point of why I'm recording my games, to see the mistakes I make, mistakes like this, and try and correct them so that next time I don't make the same mistakes. So hopefully my mistakes serve some hope to you people. As usual, I appreciate any feedback, especially on my mistakes. I hope you all enjoyed. Bye.